Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. Happy humble Monday for those that understand where I'm going with this. A perfect legend Monday to learn how to be humble in defeat, to give credit to the person who defeated you. These are the things that you learn growing up. No one likes to lose, but no one wants to be a sore loser.
True.
Saturday, we had a boxing clinic. A long lesson for those who want to learn how to, become a pugilist. And the do's and the don'ts of being a cornerman. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Professor John Guy, the king of RNG, the troll master data analyzing ninja, the conqueror of my own fate. And a guy who just who go the body. That guy
Right.
over there. I mean, he's a podcasting beast. And he should have went with Fury. Always tranquilo. Doc Elido. How are you doing, man? It was a pretty rough weekend for you, bro.
Yeah, very rough weekend. I won't get into all of the details. I'll spare the people the details. But yeah, this fight, man. Wow.
Okay,
First and foremost,
first things first.
yeah,
Let's get this out of the
just
way,
go.
okay?
Yeah, let's get it out of the way, please.
Doc went full defeatist after the third round.
Yeah, canceled his career. His career is over.
He's like, oh man, I'm about to turn this fight off. Oh goodness.
No. I didn't say that. I said career canceled. I'm spiking the ball on it. There's no chance he's going to win. Oh wait, he just knocked Fury down. Did I just jinx Fury? Oh no. Then it was like, oh wait, never mind. False alarm.
Okay, we're talking about a bell curve spectrum of emotions with Doc right here, okay? And then he said that. And I had to give him a tech for that.
At least he's going home and he's getting some fried chicken, because I'm telling you right now, that was terrible. Because at first, all right, Johnny, let's go through the emotions real quick. We know we got a segment
through
here.
the whole thing. Okay, first things first.
Let's go through my emotions first here.
Let's go through Doc's emotions.
Yes.
It's very important that we get it out the way, folks.
Please, right? So we get into this fight, and I'm thinking, and I even said it like, hey, he looks like he's a little bit more focused. He looks like he's gonna come out. He fired his training staff, got new coaches, all this other stuff. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, he's gonna come out. He's gonna do a different approach. What he did. He came out. He won the first round. Looked like unanimously among the judges, 10-10-10. They all gave him the tens. He was throwing jabs to the body. He had little body jabs, right? Setting them up. Just give him kneading the dough, right? Kneading it, right? And all of a sudden, it was like, all right, let's go back to the old stuff now.
You want me to tell you what that was that led to him going back to the old stuff? Him getting punched in the ear, and he went down. It was that first knockdown.
And the thing about it was, and I screamed this all night. I'm like, bro, the reason why I would have cut it off is because the left hook was open for about 5 rounds, but by the time he threw that left hook,
We'll talk about that.
it was so frustrating. But anyway, he's going for this right hand. Eventually, his ear got hit because his left arm was too low. His right arm was held back like freaking what's his name from freaking Cinderella Man at the end, when he was like walking over to throw that last punch. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what is he doing? And then the corner men are just like egging him on, like, you're blessed with this gift on your right arm. And I'm like, bro, yes, he's blessed with a powerful right arm, but that can't be the only thing. Like, is that what you guys did all for the year? Is like all they kept talking about during the pre-fight was, oh, his right hand power went up 225%. Oh, and like I'm like,
250.
and I'm like, what about his left hand? Like, what about the jab? Did the jab go up 5% or did it go down? Because I mean, like, throw a jab, please, ninja. Throw a jab.
Did are you good now? Did you get all your emotions out for this fight?
I'm sure it'll come out later.
It's gonna come out more. So
Yeah,
let's break it down, folks.
please,
So Doc talked about the first couple of rounds. This is a tale of two fights, folks.
big time.
A tale of two fights. We have the first four rounds because I believe it's the fourth round when Fury went down twice, and we're talking about everyone. Just the whole place got electric when Fury went down that second time.
Hmm.
But this was what was it? The when Ali caught, I want to say it was it Frazier or Foreman?
I think
But
it
he
was
got his
Foreman.
best shot, and I'm so sorry that I forgot what fight that was
I
because
want
it's
to
an
say it was
iconic
Foreman.
fight. But he gave him his best shot, and Ali just stood there. Well, Fury got up from Wilder's best shot, and he had nothing left.
And that's I gave you that analogy from again Cinderella Man
Mm-hmm.
when he was fighting Lansky and Lansky knocked out his mouthpiece, right? He walks over to the mouthpiece,
Yep,
picks it up, right? Smiles and winks, which I might watch that this week, by the way, because
it's a
that's a
great
pretty awesome
movie.
movie. And then make vegan corned beef hash. We'll figure that out. But anyway, we're going to go down that rabbit hole.
So
Um,
a few
but hold
things
on, really
happen.
quickly. Hold on, just the last part about that.
Okay.
When Lansky, and this is the part where I think Wilder messed up, right? Now I told you, Fury was sitting in the corner, and you can kind of tell like he wasn't phased, he wasn't winded, he wasn't gassed, right? He was fully prepared to go the distance here. And that part in Cinderella Man where Jim's sitting there and he's like, "Hey, get that bench out of here! You don't need no bench. Stand up!" Right? His ribs are freaking broken, and he's like, and then Lansky's over there like, "Why isn't he sitting down?" I'm sure Wilder's looking over there like, "Why isn't he tired like I am?" It's like, bro, did you do any running at all? Like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, yeah, Tyson
It's
got tired. I've seen these guys get tired, but not this quick. And he didn't throw that many,
and
you know.
I was actually going to go there actually.
Yeah, go there, man. Let's get
Okay,
there.
so Doc mentioned the cardio, and we're probably going to go back and forth with this, folks. So please bear with us. But he went back to the cardio. Here's the problem with cardio, folks. Yes, you go out there and you do road work, which is what they
True.
call it in boxing.
Hmm.
But if your whole gimmick, and now at this point it is a
Wow,
gimmick,
exact gimmick. Wow.
where you're a knockout artist and not a boxer,
Mm,
you're not set to go long distances. And around the fourth, fifth round, you can plainly see that
mm.
Wilder just let it all out way too soon.
Way too soon. Mm,
And
mm, mm.
one of the things I was telling Doc as we're texting each other, I'm like, this needs to be a rest round. Doc can attest to this. I literally said this. 6, 7, and 8. I'm like, this needs to be a rest round for Wilder if he wants to get back in this fight.
Right, you did say that.
I'm like, he's getting into clinches. He needs to use these clinch opportunities to get some energy back. He needs to
Right.
not let Fury lean on him, put his body weight on him. These are things that
No.
I'm telling Doc, by the way.
Mm, mm, mm. You did say it. You said it several times, and um, it, it just wasn't possible. I just don't think it's possible to get a rest round where there's a guy who's 40, 50 pounds over you leaning on you.
And then I have to talk about the footwork or the lack thereof. Are you kidding me? Yes, if you're a heavyweight, you're not going to be nimble and quick like you're a lightweight, granted. But you can't be going backwards. You can't be your feet parallel to your shoulders. You
Mm,
can't be crossing your legs moving.
mm.
You can't be doing these things. These are boxing basics 101 here, Doc. This isn't advanced.
You're right. I agree. Again, everything you're saying is right. That's why
I
I was
mean,
so
granted,
disappointed.
granted, even if he could just stay bounced on his toes, like that
Hmm.
would be one thing. But he was just
Backing up.
backing up, trying to put his hands out.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
for the love of all goodness,
Please
put your hands up.
protect yourself at all times. Please.
Protect yourself. And literally telling Doc, he's not putting his hands up anymore.
His hands are like
His
done.
hands is at shoulder width.
What happened to his hands?
No,
Okay,
not that.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
not that. So,
It's
of
okay.
course,
I'll
now
be.
we have the knockdown that led to the knockout. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm going to use a ha ha Davis line. You got the right to go night night. And he went night night, folks.
You credit him for staying in it that long. I mean, what was it 10 rounds? Eight. Eight is
He, okay, I hate to be the
10
bearer of
rounds.
bad news. And a lot of people really, was trying to invalidate Fury's win. First of all, he got a knockout. There is nothing to invalidate.
You
Period.
know, I think also you had people. You had that moment, and we talked about it. And I think it was like the seventh or eighth round where the doctor came in to check his hand. So you had that small
I
moment.
know, and
You
people
know.
started, and you hear the commentators start talking about, well,
Hmm.
is his hand broken? And I'm like, that's no excuse. That's no excuse. He
Yeah.
accepted the
So
fight,
he did.
and everything else that happens is par for the course during the fight.
But I mean, ultimately, he went down, and you mentioned before in the beginning that there was no love shown after the
No,
fight.
which is like the most bush league thing you can do. And
Hmm.
and here's the thing, folks, and a lot of people not going to like this opinion, and it's not even an opinion; it's a fact. There
Exactly.
will be no fourth fight.
Please, doesn't need to be like that. That's it.
Doc,
Uh,
what is your favorite expression from the FGC? Please, oh goodness, don't let me go down 0-2.
yeah, that's it. It's
Yeah.
over.
Well, he went down literally 0-2. He needs to
Yeah.
rise back. He needs to go back to basics and
It's
relearn
it's
how to box.
it
And
sucks
it's not
because he's
and it's not a slight on him. I think he's an incredible boxer, and he was doing great when he was still an amateur
right.
boxing on ESPN.
Hmm.
But all of a sudden, he just became all about just throwing the right all the time.
I mean, because
Doc,
it worked,
wait,
and
wait,
that's the thing
hold on,
about it.
and I'll get this out of the way, and we'll get to the NFL in a second, actually.
Hmm.
But Doc kept talking about the left hand.
Right.
He needs to throw the left hook, which is
Throw it.
apropos because that's how
It was
Fury
too.
knocked him out too, which
It
is
was too
hilarious.
late. It was too late.
But here's the thing, and I mentioned this about the whole stamina thing about when Wilder got exhausted. When you're
Hmm.
throwing a hook, and I told Doc this in uh, during my review of Creed,
Hmm.
when you throw a hook, you're leaving your body open because you're putting your force behind it. But
Hmm.
if you're tired and throwing a hook
Oh
using
my
a
God.
hand that you're not used to throwing that hook with,
Which I don't believe.
that's dunzo.
I don't believe that because I mean they throw a lot of they throw a lot of punches. All these punches are thrown. It's kind of like in fight night, when you be gassed and you throw that punch and your arm just sails. That's kind of what this looked like. This looked like fight night. What whatever the last fight night was, the game that came out for EA Sports, and freaking his arm was hanging out there for so long, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, How does this his corner not see that they keep talking about his right hand. And at one point, honestly, I thought maybe Wilder should switch his stance. Like
He
maybe
doesn't
he's just
have
trying.
another stance,
That's what I'm saying. Like, but
which
yeah,
is
because I
which
think
is
he
why I
fights
made the
orthodox,
comment
right?
about he needs to go back to basics so he
Yeah, like
can.
maybe I was like,
because
hey,
because all he is an orthodox fighter.
that's what I'm saying. If he would have went southpaw and threw that right hand as a jab, maybe that would have helped. But it's over. Fury
He
wins
can't
by
throw a
knockout.
jab if he doesn't put his hands.
I could say the same thing. for
But
the
Doc, I
NCAA
mean, we had
football.
a
It,
Titanfall in boxing, and we also had a
yeah.
Titanfall in college football.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'd rather talk about this one where the team
Roll,
actually kept their hands up and fought back.
roll them tides falling to Texas A&M, the Aggies.
And they were Aggie too. Oh boy, were they Aggie. And they were not ranked before. Now they're
Nope.
21. So
Hmm.
congrats to them. But
But
Alabama
Bama
just got punched in the face,
fell to 5.
which is good because that means they still have an opportunity to go back to number one. I know they
That's
did.
ridiculous. They should at least, and I said
Yeah,
they should at least be like at
8 or 9 or
least
something.
8 or 9.
No, but they'll be right there in the chance in the opportunity to play in the national championship game right there at 5-1.
That right there, folks, is the power of the SEC.
Now, granted, if they lose again, obviously it's over. But um, yeah, getting beat by an unranked team should drop you to at least the bottom part of the top 10, if
I
anything.
agree. It happened to Clemson.
But I don't. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know how this whole point system works because I see that
That's
Alabama has.
essentially votes, essentially.
Gotcha. I see Alabama has 1,286 votes right now, or
Yep.
points. So I mean, they still got enough points to be in the top
Again,
five, which
that's more SEC power because it's
big
essentially a
SEC power,
panel of 62 sports writers, and they're SEC heavy.
right?
But
I am happy
I
to
mean,
see that Iowa and Penn
I
State are
was
still
just
top
about
10.
to say that because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was very happy about that.
yeah. That was a fantastic
That
game.
was a
Even though I
great
didn't watch
game.
the finish.
That was a
I saw
great
some good
game. Them
football.
against Penn State.
Which I'm glad again they're both top 10 because they deserved it. And for the first time
Honestly,
in a while,
honestly, I would have put Penn State over Alabama.
I
I
could see
still
that.
think they took, they were 3 and 4 respectively, and it went
hmm
down to the wire essentially before, of course, Iowa opened up the game a little bit further.
This is the first time I'm seeing, outside of Georgia, but and we talked about it last season, Iowa,
Hmm.
Cincinnati in the top three, right? Michigan State, Kentucky, undefeated teams are starting to climb. So it's like this kind of puts pressure on Alabama, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon to kind of stay up there in that range because you have some undefeated teams, which, even a little lower, Coastal Carolina, Wake Forest are undefeated.
Yep.
SMU is undefeated. San Diego State is undefeated. So when you look at these top 25 and these all these undefeated teams, they're just one big win away
Hmm.
from going up, or these top teams are one loss
Loss
away
away.
from dropping. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can hold their positions. That's what makes it interesting. But no, Alabama, they just got punched in the face, and unfortunately, they dropped their hands a lot wilder. And Texas A&M with a
Technically, that was before
fury.
the Wilder fight, but I got
It
what you're saying.
was. It
If
wasn't.
anything, it was probably a prelude to what was to
Yeah,
come.
it's like it might not even have been a preview. It could have just been an overall spoiler
Spoiler.
because you know where Wilder's from.
But speaking of spoiler, I
uh,
mean, we got spoiled this weekend with some high octane offensive football. We had some great defensive football and a Sunday night game that decided to just get rained on if you're a Chiefs fan.
yeah, um,
But let's
I
go
expected them
over
to play
some of
better.
these games real quickly, bro, so we can get to this Monday night game.
Indeed, indeed. Obviously, we can start in London. Um, we can start in London. The Falcons beat up on the Jets. It was a
Honestly,
weird
it really didn't matter
game.
who won this game.
Yeah, I know I didn't wake up for it.
No.
I think I was
Oh,
up and,
I watched the fourth quarter. Um, Again, I was kind of just eating, sitting there. It was kind of like Saturday morning
oh, look,
cartoons for me.
right, there's a football game on. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we got
No
that one. Yeah,
disrespect to either teams, but I mean,
disrespect, disrespect.
you're kind of both at the bottom of your divisions.
Yeah, disrespect, big disrespect. But we had the I'm trying to skip ahead here. Green Bay versus Cincinnati, which I knew Cincinnati wasn't going to just lay
I
down.
well, in my defense, I did say this was going to go down to the wire.
They're all trap games without question. I mean, they were all trap games. And the
No,
fact
this
that
was not a
Houston was
trap game. This
competing,
was a great game.
no, it was a trap because I'm sure a lot of people picked Green Bay, and I don't know what the spread was, but I'm
I
pretty
think the
sure a lot
spread
of
was
people.
actually 3 points.
Oh, then perfect.
Yeah,
Then I guess
it wasn't. No,
I guess it's okay then. But who expected Houston to compete with New England like that? The way they've been playing, the Bucks looked terrible for most of the first half, and then there was a big explosion in the second half. We talked about Pittsburgh and Denver, and we being unsure if what team would show up for both teams.
yeah, and Pittsburgh, even though they pulled it out late, like
Right?
Denver was
It
kind of
wasn't.
knocking on the door.
Yeah, Jack Tripper style. Um, I would say the game probably that really met the expectation would have been Cleveland and the Chargers, in
Game.
which
It was the game of the weekend until we had the Sunday night game for me.
I agree. I agree. Obviously, my focus is on Tampa, but I did watch some of the highlights from the Chargers and the
No, I
Browns. I
watched
think the
this game
Browns is the
from
first
start
team.
to end.
I think the Browns they say were the first team to have over 500 yards with zero turnovers.
Hmm.
So that was pretty awesome. Shout out to what they were able to do. Is just what we've been talking about with Justin Herbert. He's just playing flat
He's
out.
he's doing
He's just
something,
out
and
there.
and I
Just
said that during the predictions too. I'm like, there's something special happening in Charger land.
yeah. Arizona does stay undefeated, beating San Francisco 17-10,
That was a good
and
read for me.
the Bears beat the Raiders, which I think you might have chose the Bears. I can't
No, I chose the Raiders.
remember.
I thought the Raiders were going to try to get that win back, but they played like
God,
absolute garbage.
maybe I chose the Bears. I don't
You
know.
did.
I
You,
don't
you
remember.
said you
Okay.
said they had Khalil Mack, but honestly, he
Ah,
wasn't
that's
that much of
right.
an
I did say
impact
that.
compared
Well,
to Derek Carr just throwing bad passes.
the Raiders are also dealing with that quote unquote email from
Hmm,
2011 that they're dealing with. So
I don't know.
that's
Maybe
another.
we'll talk about that this week sometimes. But
Yeah. Last game here, you got them boys versus the Giants.
if they
Saquon
if
going
they
down
if they
again.
would have won this game by just 2 scores, that would have been a disappointment.
I agree. Cowboys are just too good. Like I said, I knew they were good when we played them in the first game. So it is what it is.
Hmm.
Buffalo, they just beat up on the Chiefs. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs, but
So
this is
there's a
not
lot
what.
happening. Of course, we have to talk about the lightning delay and the rain. And people want to say, "Oh, well, it's because of the rain that the Chiefs." It wasn't. Like the Bills were
They were
legitimately
losing
the better
already.
team.
Yeah,
Josh Allen is having an MVP caliber season. I even said
he
that
had one last
after.
season.
I said that after week 3. In fact,
He
I'm
said,
like,
I mean, he was doing the same thing last season. It's just they came up short. They ran out of
hmm.
steam. But we'll see what happens. I'll just continue to monitor that. But Johnny, I know we got Baltimore, Indianapolis tonight in Baltimore, Monday night, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, of course. Um, we got two top defenses. Obviously, the Ravens have one of the best rushing attacks, obviously, because of Lamar. It's clear to me that I'm going to go with the Ravens. Clear. I don't think the Colts have the ability to stop Lamar Jackson, but I mean, they do have, again, top three defense. I'm sure they'll come out with a really, really strong strategy, but
Ooh. So before I give my predictions, we do have breaking news. Juju Smith-Schuster is out for the season.
hmm
He actually just had shoulder surgery last night, but he will be missing the rest of the season. Big weapon for the Steelers to miss.
oh,
But
why don't you stop it, big weapon? Get out of here.
anywho, the Ravens are favored by 7 points in this game tonight. I think
You
they'll
said
cover
big
the seven
weapon.
points, and I have the Ravens winning.
That was a good one. I'm sorry. But
I'm like you said on an island on that one. Like
I
you're on an island for that one.
He's a big weapon. That boy ain't done nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. Since I had him last season. Since I had him last season, he's done nothing.
Wow. Wow.
Nothing. But
Wow.
we're here tomorrow, right? We got Dark Side of the Ring, but right before we get there, I just wanted to touch really quickly on just the. I think I got a chance to watch one quarter of the Chicago Sky versus the Phoenix Mercury matchup in the WNBA Finals yesterday, in which the Chicago won 91-77. I found it hilarious, and obviously we know obviously of Candace Parker. Um, we know the big names: Tarazi, Skylar Diggins Smith, Brittany Griner. Those big names. Um, but the part that really, really got me yesterday, I just happened to tune into this very fine moment of Diana Taurasi cursing the official out. And it just reminded me, it was so funny because I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, if this was the NBA, man, she would have got a tech so fast. And it made me think like, how lenient the referees are in the WNBA compared to the NBA, because she had 4 fouls in the third quarter. But I did see her bury a very, very deep three um, on her way out. Right before she got that last foul, she buried a three. And I mean, it's jacking them up there. But I did appreciate, some of the things that I saw from this game. There was a little alley oop on the fast break.
They do
Obviously, not a
that.
dunk.
They do
Yeah,
that.
not a
They do
dunk.
that. They do that a lot. Actually, it is with the Sky and the Atlanta Dream. They do that a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But shout out to game one. I mean, it looked pretty good. We'll see what what the Mercury can do in game two to adjust, which is going to be Wednesday at 9 p.m. Wednesday at 9 p.m. is a good time. That's a time where nothing else is really going on. So I don't see why I won't be able to watch that one.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a quick shout out to Big E.
Big E was everywhere. Oh my God, he was everywhere. That guy
he
was everywhere.
he was on College Game Day for his
Yo,
Iowa Hawkeyes, and then he did the intro for the main event on Saturday
guy
while
was
we're
everywhere. That was awesome. But we're back here tomorrow for the Dark Side of the Ring. But until then, I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com, where you'll see this episode as well as all the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we again go over Dark Side of the Ring and continue that coverage. But we'll also give you the news, the analysis, and the reads.
24 listens before 10K.